Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV in a new edition of our online interview updates. We want to get now an update, of course, on US critical minerals, and we have Darren Collins here, the CEO. Hey, good morning to Canada or the US. I don't know where you are exactly now.
Myself either sometimes.
Okay, that's
Um,
right. First of
always,
all,
always a pleasure.
always a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks for taking the time. Happy New Year, of course. And
Likewise.
US critical minerals. Maybe we should do a little wrap up of the last year, what you guys have so far achieved, what's going on, because there was a lot going on with land agreements and BSM approvals and stuff like that. And then we want to move into 2024.
Yeah. So certainly a very active 2023 for us. Multiple, property deals that we did and really advancing our interest technically
Mhm.
across a portfolio. So the advancement of assets, I'll start with that. We did complete 1,500 meters of drilling at our Clayton Valley asset,
Mhm.
Clayton Ridge, actually. So just in the ridge above the valley. That was really the final commitment to fulfill our earn into that asset. So
Mhm.
just having the lawyers do the paperwork here to transfer over the claims and the like, but that will position with 100% of that asset. So that's definitely a good development. Shows our ability to technically execute, as well as fulfill commitments to various partners. So we're going to have drill results out on that here soon. The
Mhm.
labs were a bit backed up at the end of last year. That's been kind of a common occurrence across the industry, but we are, very close to putting out those results, and our geologic team's done a great work fulfilling our obligations and executing the drill program there.
Mhm.
Um, in Montana, we have a rare earth asset that we've discussed in the past. So we've done, large sampling program. We reran some of the assays. We're now, in position to, put that out as well and start talking about what we're seeing there. We did, expend capital on advancing our earning commitment there as well.
Mhm.
So that was certainly quite active on that asset. And then in terms of building out the property portfolio as well, and one of the things that we can actually talk about here today is we had some, let's call it good foresight in the market and saying, hey, where do we think, there's going to be some, appreciation of assets and, market attention. We actually acquired early last year a uranium asset. Actually, I was in Germany at the time that we were closing the acquisition. I remember fondly. But we acquired 70% of an entity that holds 100% of an asset in the good state of Idaho, great mining
Oh.
state. It's actually a uranium vanadium asset.
Mhm.
So we're really, putting together an exploration plan for that right now,
Mhm.
and it's quite interesting actually. The asset itself, it shows in soils up to 4,000 approximate parts per million, U3O8. So certainly that is good grade in soils, and then vanadium actually up to 5,000 parts per million
Mhm.
in the soils. So some good opportunity there. There's land available around it. The idea is we're going to go advance it to the point where we're comfortable to drill it, and then look at drilling that as well. Um, the
Mhm.
other asset that we executed on last year, and there's no secrets in the market. Certainly lithium has had its better days in terms of price. Over eighty
For sure.
percent decline. We were talking before the interview about supply deficits and surpluses. Right now it's certainly looking like surplus in various markets as it relates to lithium. That could well change. I think it
Mhm.
does change as things play out. A lot of companies are, processing stockpile right now, which is obviously keeping the price down. You've had, slower EV growth in China than anticipated. I think the Chinese, not the first time they've done. I think they're, artificially keeping the price down to, prevent additional supply from coming to market because they want to
Mhm.
continue to control that market. And with low prices, you have less supply obviously come to market. So I think now is really the time to plan for the next phase of what I think the lithium wave will be.
Mhm.
But that being said, we did acquire an option on a very interesting asset as we've discussed in the Thacker Pass area. So we're going to be looking at putting together a drill map for that. It's pretty much at the point where we're ready to go test it.
Mhm.
and that's a high priority to get out there and test that with some initial
What's
holes.
what's the name of that project nearby Thacker Pass?
McDermott
That's
East.
McDermott. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
it's on the margin of the caldera, which
Hmm.
is really the interesting part of the McDermott Caldera
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
Nevada outside Winnemucca there. And lots of pieces out there. Again, as we've previously discussed, saying this is some of the largest lithium reserves in the world
Hmm.
within that caldera. So it's certainly ground zero for lithium exploration within the state of Nevada. I mean, Clayton Valley, the only producing area, arguably, the McDermott is going to be the first clay producing, asset within the United States. So we got, a good footprint in two of the right lithium camps in the US.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
well positioned. We just, need to be a little patient with the market here.
Absolutely. And I mean, those markets are a little bit shaky. That is also for sure because we don't know is the Chinese economy recovering? Are the US going into a hard landing or soft landing? And this is, I think it's a lot psychology these days in the market. But one fact is for sure we need a lot of metals if we want to get carbon free, if we want to have renewable energy, if we want to have AI, if we want to drive electric. And those are all the metals you have. One question to the uranium property: how did you come on that? And on the first thing, and second thing is, it is not something because it's the flavor of the year. It's something you really want to pursue, right?
Well, it's something where, we can get some market interest around it for certain.
Hmm.
You want to be working on projects that are
Hmm.
topical,
Absolutely.
big supply
Well,
deficit.
I'm the biggest bull for uranium, definitely.
Big supply deficits shown in
Yeah.
uranium, good price,
Hmm.
and an asset that, uranium was certainly up and coming. We were early in acquiring this asset, so it's not
Hmm.
like we're out there looking for uranium asset now. A year ago, we said, hey, uranium has some real potential here. We should
Hmm.
position ourselves in something like that. We had a good number of projects already planned and the capital allocated for it in 2023. So we said, hey, let's get this under the umbrella. We did a smart deal on it.
Hmm.
It didn't cost us, a lot of capital. It cost us a bit of stock. We have 70% of the asset. Good partner on it, Idaho Silver, who's really taken a prospect generator
Hmm.
model in Idaho. So we said, okay, we have our projects for this year, but we want exposure to this down the road, and here we are. And now we'll start, communicating on that asset.
Hmm.
It really has some potential to it. Good grade in
Absolutely.
soil, both the uranium and
Hmm.
vanadium, and we get out, do some more work, and good Mother Nature cooperating. Hopefully we can get out there and do that sooner than later. It's been very cold and snowy in the
Hmm.
world, in the northern United States and
Hmm.
northwestern United States, particularly in the mountains.
Hmm.
So it's good to go. Now's the time to
Hmm.
really start pushing on that asset
Yeah.
and what we have there.
Okay, super. So you have uranium, vanadium, you have two lithium assets, you have rare earth elements with Sheep Creek, and you have the Haynes Cobalt project. Where
We're a
do you
diverse portfolio. Yes.
exactly? So that's a super large portfolio with all the metals of, yeah, I would say almost everybody has on the wish list for sure. Um, where do you where do you see more your focus, or where do you, let's put it that way, 2024, where do you think you have to emphasize?
Well, certainly we want the core asset of the company has really been our Clayton Ridge
Hmm.
company or asset, right? Like
Hmm.
we are, very much focused on the lithium. Obviously, the lithium is not quite what it was in terms of market interest, but I still see your lithium as a very interesting place to be positioned, and we have two good assets. So I'd say
Hmm.
still very much on the lithium,
Hmm.
but advancing the other assets in tandem. And to say that one asset is really the principal asset as we talk today,
Hmm.
um, it would be hard to kind of put a finger on one because we have,
Hmm.
what is a very interesting portfolio here. But I do see as we advance the company and we get more technical results, there will be a core asset focus of, hey, this one has the most merit. This one justifies the expenditure of capital the
Hmm.
most. And then really making that a very core focus.
Hmm.
We haven't selected which asset that's necessarily going to be at this point in time, but I ultimately see the evolution of the company going that direction.
Okay, super. So you're in the planning now for 2024, if I get that correct. So it makes no
That's
sense to
correct.
say, okay, how many meters you want to drill. That's a bit
Yeah,
too early. Maybe we can do that during PDAC and you have your plans
sure.
more
I will be at
concrete.
PDAC,
Yeah, me
absolutely.
too.
And
Super.
it's really planning phase right now. Like the
Mm,
exploration season is come to a conclusion.
mm,
For last year, certainly now is the time for results leading into PDAC.
mhm,
Interesting enough, why is PDAC this time of year? You may well know, but maybe of interest to some of your listeners. PDAC was always hosted this time of year because that's when companies have finished the exploration
mhm,
season. They have results. It's the time of year to be marketing, meeting with
mhm,
investors. So that's why they've historically had PDAC in the winter because the
mhm.
exploration season in Canada is finished, and
Yeah,
it's
that's
the
right.
time to meet with investors, do the meetings,
Yeah.
and really prepare and analyze the data and get ready for the next year.
Yeah,
That's the phase that we're in now.
and for us poor guys going there, it is like minus 20 degrees, horrible wind, ice and snow, and we have to walk through the streets.
I've ruined many a good pair of shoes over PDAC.
Oh
Yes,
yes, me too. I
The Toronto salt is legendary.
absolutely. I killed at least three pairs of shoes.
Yeah, yeah. I now
Definitely.
have rubber inserts that I use for them.
Yeah.
I've ruined too many shoes.
Yeah, me too, definitely. Super. Hey, Darren, I would suggest we meet us again at PDAC. That's 5 weeks from here. And
Excellent,
for sure, you have some more results. And then let's talk there again. Thanks for the update already. And wish you best and see you soon.
excellent. Well, thank you
Super.
as always.
Thank you
Excellent.
very much, Darren. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there was Darren Collins, the CEO of US Critical Minerals. You heard it, a lot of projects, but interesting metals because those are the metals of choice, because we need them for the e-mobility, for renewable energy, for high tech, for AI. You count it, you name it. And I think very interesting because those projects are in the US, and that is exactly what is really pushed forward because the US wants to look to get more independent from uranium imports, from rare earth elements, etc., lithium, cobalt. Those are all those nice things. And I would suggest you check out the company. Thanks for watching us, and bye bye from Switzerland.